my honourable friend from Hornchurch and Upminster, if I were allowed in this place to do standing ovations, I think I would give one to my friend from Walsall North. The most frustrating thing of all of this is that the Prime Minister had it all together back in 2017 in her Lancaster House speech, where she talked about negotiating a bold and ambitious free trade deal with Europe, giving us the ability to strike out around the world. And she didn't pretend that it would have all the same benefits of membership, because we were going to leave, but we could have a different and positive relationship. She was going to take back control of our money, our borders and our laws, and she was quite right when she said that these things were highly important to people's decision to vote to leave in the referendum. And importantly, one of the few messages that really struck a chord and worked for people out there in the country that they heard and believed was that she said no deal is better than a bad deal. And if the EU wouldn't give us something that worked for the United Kingdom, then we would walk away and we would succeed on our own merits. There's no point now wishing that things were different, but it's heartbreaking that we've ended up here when actually the government had the right approach 2.5 years ago, and it's an approach that has long since been abandoned. But the referendum vote, oddly, was actually a massive vote of confidence in the United Kingdom and the United Kingdom government. The people of Britain said, we don't want people in Europe telling us what to do. We know and we believe that our government in the United Kingdom has the strength and the power to deliver this difficult decision and to get that right for us as the population of the UK, and that is a huge trust and burden that we should bear here in Parliament, but something that we should have delivered. And my honourable friend from Poole is absolutely right when he says that politicians have not shared that optimism and that competence, frankly, and have eroded that trust over the last 3 years. And tomorrow the Brexit Party seems likely to wipe the floor with us in European elections because those promises have been broken. The deal wasn't good enough, and we should have stuck to the words in that speech at Lancaster House and left on March the 29th. That's what I voted for in this House. That's what I believe was perfectly within the Prime Minister's power to do if she genuinely believed her own words from back in 2017. I'm not going to go into great detail on the New Deal. It almost doesn't seem relevant. I can't for the life of me see or understand how anybody in government can think that slight variations on that theme, an increasingly muddled and contradictory plan that we're now presented with, is the answer to all of this.
Time for change.
Time for change, as my friend says from a sedentary position. But there are two ways we can proceed. We can either revoke Article 50, which is totally unacceptable, or we can be firm in our commitment to leave on October the 31st, come what may. A good deal would be great, no deal would be okay, but either way, we have to leave, and we have to honour the promise that we made to the public. It's clear this Prime Minister can't get a better deal. She's shown she won't leave without the EU's agreement. A new leader might be able to do something different, but the vital thing is there can be no more delay. No more trying to fudge this withdrawal agreement into something acceptable, because it's not going to happen and it's wasting time. My honourable friend, the member for Hornchurch and Upminster, is absolutely right about what needs to happen now. She went into great detail about plans that need to be put in place for our exit on October the 31st. We should keep trying to agree something. We have some time to do that. We should keep trying. But if the European Union sticks to their word, then the likelihood is we'll be faced with that decision at the end of October, to leave without an agreement or to stay in the EU. I, for one, certainly will not be part of anyone, any party or any group that tries to block or overturn Brexit at that point. We have to leave. So I ask my honourable friend, the Minister, to reassure me on the same points that have been raised by my honourable friend from Hornchurch, to assure us all in this place that we are planning properly for that departure, that we'll lay out our plans for the UK's key priorities for trade and future relationships if we leave on WTO terms, that we put in motion plans to mitigate the short-term adverse impacts of that, that we ensure we all have the necessary agreements in place to keep things moving, that we're looking at the practical delivery, not just the theory of alternative proposals for the Irish border, and that the attitude of government and civil service going forward should be one of steely determination to deliver the smoothest possible exit on those terms, as it now seems the most likely outcome. That should be perfectly possible, as we've had 6 months more to prepare for that than we were expecting. My honourable friend, the Minister's predecessor from the member for Daventry, was adamant upon his resignation that we are as prepared as we could be, and I trust that that still remains true. We can't start to heal the divisions that exist in this country until we've left the European Union. We can't seek to restore trust and reaffirm democracy in this country until we've left the European Union. Anybody who wishes to lead this country and start to implement the positive small c Conservative agenda that those of us on this side of the House crave, must first get their hands dirty with Brexit solutions, not just sound bites. They need to deliver and get us out on October the 31st at the very latest, or we can be sure that come the next election, no Conservative leader will be delivering anything for a very long time. Well, I know the Minister understands this, and it's not just faith in the Prime Minister and the Conservative Party that's been shaken by broken Brexit promises. It's faith in our entire political system, in its institutions and in politics as a whole. It's not lost forever. Every day we drift on without showing clear determination to honour the referendum results makes it harder to recover that trust in the future. But I hope the Minister can assure me that in his role, responsible for preparing our leaving without an agreement, and in the absence of a deal that works for the UK, that he's confident that everything's being done to ensure we're in a position to do that on October the 31st.